Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today we are talking about one of the few ships in the German lineup considered to be outright OP, or certainly was back in the day, and that is the Tier 3 premium German battleship, the Konig Albert. Now, the Konig Albert is a fairly old premium, was introduced all the way back in 2016, and was pulled, I believe, in 2017? From the shop, and this was before Wargaming got in the habit of rotating premiums in and out of the shop. And I do remember hearing about it way back in the day, and this is way before I even started making videos on YouTube, that this ship was quite powerful and broken. But now, she's, well, back in some ways. They've been introducing her more and more in special event containers, like last time she got introduced was in the Jutland containers. You can also get the Agincourt in. So I managed to pick her up, of course, through those containers, trying to get the Agincourt. And it's taken me a while to finally get around to playing her, but I did, and boy, oh boy, she's still quite powerful. However, the game's changed so much. There's been so much new content added in, if you want to call it that, some things help her out some things don't. And we're going to talk about that today and see what it's like playing a 6-year-old premium now, 5-year-old premium now in the game. And it's something, alright. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the ship and what makes the Konig Albert the Konig Albert. Was starting off at the armor. She has fantastic armor. Her bow's a little squishy in the upper half, but she does have a 120mm wraparound icebreaker bow, and I mean that's very good for tanking, well, everything. And of course she is German, so she does have a very well hidden citadel. She's a tier 3 German too, so she's pretty much nigh uncitadelable. She has a 350mm side plate that covers her citadel, so yeah, not much is getting through that at tier 3. In terms of survivability, she's very healthy at 41,300 hit points. She does have low torpedo protection at 19%, which is on par for the German torpedo protection, but it's a little low for these Dreadnought era battleships. Most of these battleships, like half of their side, was just torpedo protection. But she does have poor torpedo protection as par for the course for the Germans. Where she really shines at, though, is her main battery. She has 10 305mm guns with a 30-second flat 180 time. It seems like nowadays to get this many guns on a ship, you'd get somewhere in the neighborhood of a 33 or 40-second reload time. But not for the Konig Albert. Flat 30-second reload time. It does take 48 seconds for the torpedoes. For the turrets to 180, which isn't terrible, but I mean, it is kind of slow in some situations. She has 11.9 kilometer maximum range. Her AP shell velocity is 855 meters a second. Her HE shell velocity is 850 meters a second. And her HE shells, they're not that great. They only do 3,400 damage. They have a 22% chance of starting a fire, though, which is fairly low for battleships. Even a battleship with this many guns, they're normally in like the 30s or even sometimes the low 40s too. Or if you're the Agincourt. But her AP is actually very nice. Does a maximum damage of 8,300, and it hits fairly regularly. It's not, well, by tier 3 standards, actually fairly consistent. Most tier 3 ships, their accuracy is, god, terrible. The Konig Albert, from my experience at least, seems to be a bit above that. She does have lots of secondaries, though. She has 4 88mm guns, which I suspect are also dual purpose, looking at her stats here. And then she has, she has 4 of the single mount 88s. Then she has 8 of the, what are these called? People keep telling me what the turrets in the ship are called. Like, I can't remember what it is. But she has 4 on single mounts. She has 8 on mounts within the superstructure in the hull. And then she has 14 of the 150mm guns. They get up to 5 kilometers for both of them. The 150s reload in 7 seconds. The 88s reload in 3.4 seconds with the build that I have on it right now. In terms of AA, she doesn't really have much at all. It's just the 88mm guns and the single deck mounts that are her AA. So, yeah, not that great. In terms of maneuverability, she's pretty fast for Tier 3, coming at 22.1 knots, so a little bit above the other Tier 3 battleships. She has a turning circle radius of 600 meters, and she has a rotor shift time of 12.1 seconds. And lastly, her concealment, well, she doesn't have a lot of it. Without Concealment Expert, her concealment range is 11 kilometers. So, put all that in one ship, and you see how this ship is very tough. Great armor, great guns, good secondaries, but how does she live up to today? Well, today at Tier 3, there's two major things that have happened that has changed Tier 3 quite a bit. First off is the introduction of bots to make sure that Tier 3 matches have enough ships in them, because Tier 3 matches are just +1 matchmaking, meaning that they can't get double up tiered. So there's not a lot of Tier 3 players on. You'd have some pretty empty matches. So they added in bots. Bots have done a couple of things. First off, they've made matches much shorter, because bots just like to unga bunga. They just derp right in, and most of the time they get slaughtered. Second thing is they made it fairly easy to farm damage if the match goes on for long enough. Because I'm sure in the footage you're watching right now, you saw at the beginning, they literally just sell straight forward, torpedo or ram the other bot, and then you're down like 4 ships within a couple of minutes in Tier 3. So the games don't really last as long from my experience, but if you're in the right place at the right time, you have a fantastic damage farming potential at Tier 3. The other major thing is CVs. Tier 3 can get up to Tier 4. In Tier 4, there's a lot of double CV games. And for a lot of these Tier 3, Tier 4 ships, they don't have a lot of AA. And the Albert is not excluded from that. So, when you're in a CV game in the Alberts, CVs can pretty much just have their way with you. And because it's Tier 3, unless you're really just sitting in the middle of the team, you can't really do much to dissuade the CV from attacking you. However, I don't think that's really affected her performance too much. Because when you're not in a CV game, boy, this ship is strong. Like, super strong. The secondaries are very nice. They don't have as much range as I would like them to have. I thought maybe with the Commander rework she would have picked up some range. She did pick up some accuracy for sure, because the new skill is just a flat out buff, unlike the old skill where up to Tier 5 only got a 15% boost to secondary accuracy. Then from Tier 6 up, they got the 60% boost, but now it's just a flat 30% boost to accuracy with the new Commander skill. So we got that going for us. That's why it's a flat 35% boost to accuracy, my bad. Then with the CVs, like I said, you don't really see them every game, so you're mostly okay for that part. But again, if you do see a CV in the Konig Albert, you're gonna have a bad day. But again, when there's no CVs and you are just pushing, your secondaries going, you're getting your guns on target, this is a very powerful Tier 3 premium still today. I'm surprised it held up as well as it did, which does show that it was probably quite the powerhouse back in the day, in its heyday, when there weren't a lot of CVs around, and when there weren't bots around in Tier 3 matches, and then the Tier 3 matches would actually go on for longer than 10-12 minutes, and you had time to get your damage in. But even with some of these quicker matches, I'm still pretty easily able to get 100,000 damage in the Albert. Now, 100,000 damage in Tier 3, that's pretty impressive. Now, granted, there are bots, so you do have to take that into consideration. But still, even in games that are not populated by bots, I'm still getting like 80, 90, 65, 75,000 damage in the Konig Albert, which is very, very, very good for a Tier 3 ship. And the session that I played just this morning recording for this video, I had one match. There was a 65k match, which was my first match. That one didn't last long at all. The second match was an 85k match. Third match was a 100k match. Fourth match was a 55k match, because the enemy Rhine decided that I wasn't going to be able to play this match, and he just kept dive bombing me and double citadeling me with his bomb drop. So that was a fun experience. But as you can see, the performance of the ship is very high for someone who is, of course, familiar with battleships and has a higher point commander to put on her. And she's a fairly tough ship too. I mean, again, you get that German armor. That means definitely nothing at Tier 3 is going to be able to citadel you. Even in Tier 4 games, probably, I mean, I was showing broadside, my guns on target, and they would chunk you pretty good, but again, they never really citadeled me. And again, it's a very tough ship, but most of these tier 3 dreadnought style ships are. You could probably get up tier to tier 5, but I doubt anything there could citadel this thing either consistently. But not that that would be a fun experience with the range at all. But yeah, she's still a very powerful ship. I'm not sure if I would call her OP anymore. I mean, the prevalence of CVs has definitely whacked her into place if you get up to tier 4. But if this thing is top tier in a tier 3 match, and you've got a fairly high point commander in it, and you know what you're doing, this is a very powerful premium ship. Now, of course, it's not readily available anymore, but like I said, I mean, they've been giving her out in containers and event containers and Christmas containers too, so it's probably not that far-fetched that you could potentially easily pick one of these up in some event in the future. But I definitely wouldn't go drop like hundreds of dollars trying to get this ship. I mean, if you're a collector, you probably already have this ship, but it's definitely not worth, again, going out for like the Christmas container event and just, slapping away your Christmas bonus from your job trying to get this one ship. I mean, it's a fun time. It is. It's a fun time, especially if you like kind of just derp around, hold down W, go forward, and smack the crap out of the enemy ship when they show you their broadside. It's fun for that. It's definitely fun. It's a historical ship too. It's a real still ship. That's always a plus in my book. One thing though is that with the bots, it's mostly the cruisers that derp forward first into your fire, and with the guns on the Konig Albert and like most battleship guns, you just overpin the crap out of those. So those are pretty frustrating. And then later on, you might finally get to the battleships that are still alive that either your bots haven't already rammed to death or torpedoed to death, and then that's when you kind of start to get your damage in. But yeah, if that wasn't the case, and the bots were maybe a little bit more intelligent and not just, we hold W, we go forward, brrr, the matches might last a bit longer, then this ship would probably even farm even more damage at that point. But yeah, she's a fun ship, and if you do manage to pick her up either in an event container or whatever, you probably would have a good time in her. Especially you got Lucians. Again, Lucians makes every German ship better because he's an awesome commander like that. But that's what I think about the Konig Albert and how she's aged over time. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you have the Konig Albert or your experience is the same to mine, you still enjoy playing her today, as she aged quite well. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 30,000 subs. Just passed 26,800 a few days ago, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. I will be live streaming right here tonight on the channel from 5 p.m. U.S. Central Time to 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time on the YouTube channel and on Twitch, so please come check us out then. Again, guys, hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.